Welcome Cloud Gamers, as today's news video is easily one of my most exciting videos that I've had the pleasure of sharing with you guys, as we finally get a release date for Elder Scrolls Online, as well as some new juicy info on the game. Also, new information has leaked early on one of the June Pro games, and 1440 support has been announced for Stadia. So with all that said, let's dive into this video. Like always, if you guys can hit that like button, I'd appreciate it, and sub to the channel for more news videos like this about Stadia. But finally, all the speculation and wonder has finally come to light, as not only did we get a release date for Elder Scrolls Online and its newest expansion, but we got a lot of new information unknown before, and I have to say that I couldn't be happier. We now have a June 16th date, but on top of that June 16th date, a question that I had been receiving is if it will have cross-save or cross-progression, as we already have cross-play with PC. And come to find out, it will have that cross-progression as well. Meaning if you have a character on the PC, you can transfer your character over to Stadia. Unfortunately, doing some further digging though, we did receive confirmation from Stadia themselves that this cross-save does not extend itself to the Xbox or PS4, which is a big bummer, as that is where the bulk of players is going to be trying the Stadia version, so you will have to start from scratch if you're a previous console player. And the last news that came out yesterday was that this will be a pro game for the month of June, and you will be able to play it free if you have a pro membership before you actually even get to the new expansion. From all reports, it looks as though this game will be free up until the Morrowind expansion, before you actually have to spend more money to advance the story and progression. Well, that will end up being a ton of content for people to explore before they even have to drop a dime on the game, and more than enough to figure out if you want the new content. So with all that said, Google and ZeniMax have done an excellent job with the details on this exciting port over to Stadia. But not all great, as I would have loved to have seen cross progression with the consoles, as that was easily one of the most asked questions in my community. But I'm happy to report that I think this is a title that will be dominating some of our playtime this summer, and I for one welcome that. Now the last thing to touch on is there does seem to be no add-ons or mods that will be able to be put on Stadia. So if you're someone who needs your mods, you will be out of luck with the Stadia version. So we'll have to see how that plays out in the coming weeks when this title launches, as a Stadia player might be at a disadvantage playing alongside or against PC players. Either way, I will be streaming this on Twitch and going full board with this title. So please be sure to follow me on this YouTube channel and Twitch, where you'll see lots of live streams in the coming weeks. So hopefully you guys are excited as I am, as this is one of my most anticipated Stadia titles this summer. Now the next news was a heck of a surprise that came out of nowhere. While we know that ESO will now be a confirmed pro game in June, we got yet another confirmation of a second pro game, but it was information that was not released by Google, but by the publisher Bandai Namco, who announced via Twitter Little Nightmares will be coming on June 1st and will be able to be claimed for pro members for the base game, with the DLC Secrets of the Maw sold separately. Now Little Nightmares is a heck of a game that has sold over 2 million copies since its launch back in 2017. In Little Nightmares, you play as Six, who is trying to escape the Maw, in which it's inhabited by corrupted souls. It's almost like a game in which you're a child who is just trying to escape a very creepy dollhouse. The game features a mix of stealth, puzzles, and platforming, all blended together, and is a game that is extremely high revered, with tens of thousands of positive reviews and a Metacritic score of 81. While this is an excellent title, it does unfortunately have a short story, as some have reported as low as being finished with the game in 2 to 3 hours, with others who did more exploring getting around 6. So you will need to purchase the DLC to get a bit more out of this game, but either way, it's another solid pro edition and one that I can't wait to try. But the last bit of news that we have today is that it looks like out of nowhere, Google has announced that you can now use a new resolution option via Chrome with 1440 support. This was something that a few users had been reporting in the past couple weeks that they had been receiving, and a lot of us weren't exactly sure what to make of it. But it looks as though now you have the ability to play in 1440p if you have that display. Unfortunately, there does not seem to be any form of a way to specifically choose 1440p option, so you'll have to play at the highest setting on your Stadia app and enjoy the resolution from there. In my opinion, I do hope that they roll out a specific 1440p option via our Stadia app, so we can have a bit more transparency on the different options we do have. But either way, I was happy to see this, as it's been a while since a new feature got rolled out. But all in all, June, a month that I was clearly starting to worry about, has now been shaping up to be the start of a second half of the year, in which this platform will be rolling out so much that we'll be up to our eyeballs in games to cover. With the new addition of the 2 Pro games and a Stadia Connect on the horizon, as well as big titles like Cyberpunk 2077, our wallets will be suffering, and I for one am happy with all this Stadia news. With all that said, let me know down below in the comments your thoughts on today's news, including Elder Scrolls Online, Little Nightmares, and 1440p, as I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. Hit that like button if you can, subscribe for more Stadia news and games coverage, as well as hit that notification bell. I'm Sunny, and like always, I'll see you guys in the cloud.